Times when Gordon Ramsay met his match. How many times have you seen Gordon Ramsay getting humbled? I bet you haven't. The celebrity chef is known worldwide for his fiery personality, culinary expertise, and unfiltered communication style. But even he occasionally meets someone who can stand toe-to-toe with him. Here are a few times Gordon Ramsay met his match. Oh, and you have to watch till the end because the last person even made Gordon issue a public apology to not just them, but a whole country. The pissed off chef. In what can only be described as a kitchen clash of titans, Gordon attempted to help a struggling restaurant by teaching the head chef and owner, Dave, some basics. The biggest problem was that Dave had never made a casserole before, or filleted fish, or cooked mussels. For a professional chef running a restaurant, these gaps in knowledge were deeply concerning to Gordon. What started as a teaching session quickly erupted into a full-blown shouting match when Gordon expressed disbelief over Dave's lack of experience with mussels. The tension got out of hand when Dave refused to be belittled and pushed back with equal force. Gordon even suggested Dave should fuck off to the bookshop, read how to cook a mussel, and come back.
Well, why don't you fuck off to the bookshop, read how to cook a mussel, and come back and see me?
In a sarcastic response, Dave then offered to let Gordon run his restaurant. It's funny how both these guys were going back and forth like little kids fighting over some candy. After taking 5 minutes to cool down, Dave returned ready to learn, and the two found a surprising rhythm. They accomplished more in a few hours than they had in 3 days previously. Sometimes it takes a proper blow-up to establish mutual respect, while it's normally others who have to stand up to Gordon. In this next case, he was the one who had to stand up to another bossy chef, Auntie Ein. During Gordon's Malaysian food adventure, he met his match in the form of a fiery restaurant owner known as Auntie Ein. Taking her roadside restaurant by local bikers, Gordon hoped to learn authentic Malay cooking, particularly her famous beef rendang. From the moment they began cooking together, it was clear Aunt Ein wasn't intimidated by Gordon's celebrity status. When he asked for precise measurements, she repeatedly answered with agak-agak, a Malaysian concept meaning approximately or up to you. This drove Gordon, with his precise European cooking background, absolutely nuts. The tables had truly turned on Gordon as he found himself being bossed around the kitchen. When he worried about burning the rendang, he said it would be more than his life's worth if he did. In a particularly amusing moment, Aunt Ein took Gordon outside to show him her clitoral bush, a plant with a rather unfortunate name that they would use in the rice. Her bold, unfiltered personality matched Gordon's own brand of frankness.
This is my clitoria bush over here.
Just stop there 2 seconds. Now, I know you're slightly crazy, but that is called a clitoral bush.
Yes, it is. I can't help it if it's called clitoria, because exactly, it looked like one.
Right. Does your husband ever come and pick your clitoral bush?
Not here.
By the end of their cooking session, Gordon had gained more than just a recipe. He'd gained insight into a different cooking philosophy. Plus, they became friends, which is also another huge win for both of them. But it seems only Aunt Ein can boss Gordon around because this next guy got so fed up with Gordon bossing him around, he basically blew up. Head chef reaches breaking point. One of the most dramatic confrontations in Gordon's career occurred during a particularly stressful service featuring soufflés. After multiple failures throughout the evening, the pressure was mounting on head chef Adrian to get the dessert course right. Gordon was in typical form, demanding perfection. But this time, he didn't just stand and watch, he taught the chefs how to make a good soufflé. Unfortunately, they weren't getting it right, and this is where things started heating up. The molds were dirty, the ratios were wrong, and customers had been waiting an hour for their desserts. After one particularly harsh critique, Adrian finally snapped. He told Gordon to shut the fuck up.
Thing once, Mr. Ramsay, and then shut the fuck up.
Gordon, clearly shocked by this response, told Adrian to get out and cool down. It was a rare moment where someone had pushed back with enough force to actually halt Gordon's tirade. What happened next showed the true character of both men. Rather than letting pride get in the way, Gordon went after Adrian, acknowledging the chef's frustrations but also emphasizing the importance of finishing the service. When Adrian initially refused, saying he wasn't up to it, Gordon suggested they do it together. This moment of vulnerability and teamwork transformed the dynamic. Back in the kitchen, they worked side by side, with Gordon even suggesting Adrian pretend the soufflé mixture was his head in there as he beat it vigorously. The final soufflés were described as the best of the night, a testament to what can happen when two strong personalities find common ground. Though the service wasn't ultimately successful, Gordon respected that Adrian had returned to finish the job. the outrageous interview. Not all of Gordon's memorable encounters involve cooking. During an interview, Gordon met his match in the form of Graham Norton, who managed to turn the tables on the notoriously provocative chef. The conversation started innocently enough with questions about Gordon's time in France and his French girlfriend. However, Gordon quickly steered into inappropriate territory, making crude comments about French women's grooming habits that left even Graham and the entire audience momentarily stunned. Even after switching the topic to talk about how French makes everything sound a lot better, the damage had already been done. Gordon even went as far as asking Julian about her own personal grooming habits, which, by the way, was a bit too much, but she just laughed it off and showed him her legs. Meanwhile, Graham was just laughing at the whole awkward situation. By the end, it was clear that Gordon had met not just one, but two people who could handle his brash personality and inappropriate humor with grace and quick wit. Graham's ability to remain unflustered while subtly pointing out the chef's missteps showed that sometimes the best way to handle Gordon Ramsay isn't by matching his volume, but by maintaining your composure in the face of his provocations. But while this next TV presenter did maintain her composure, things soon got out of hand way more than even Gordon expected. The Tracy Grimshaw incident. Back in 2009, Gordon Ramsay found himself at the center of a media firestorm after making some shockingly crude remarks about Australian TV presenter Tracy Grimshaw. What started as a bit of tasteless showmanship on stage quickly spiraled into one of the most talked about celebrity feuds of the year. And it definitely wasn't one of his finest moments. It all started during Ramsay's appearance at the Melbourne Good Food and Wine Show. In front of a packed audience, he pulled out a photoshopped image of a naked woman with multiple breasts and a pig's face, claiming it was Grimshaw. Keep in mind, this was just a day after she'd interviewed him. He didn't stop there either. Ramsay went on to mock her appearance, made some jabs about her needing Botox, and hinted she might be a lesbian. Grimshaw, clearly not amused, clapped back on her show A Current Affair, calling Ramsay an arrogant narcissist and a bully. She made it clear she wasn't going to let him get away with dragging her through the mud. But Grimshaw wasn't the only one who came down hard on Ramsay. The backlash was swift and loud. Even the Australian Prime Minister at the time, Kevin Rudd, weighed in, calling Ramsay's behavior a new form of lowlife. Other politicians chimed in too, essentially telling him to stick to the kitchen and leave the insults behind. For a man who built a brand on tough love and foul-mouthed honesty, Ramsay had clearly crossed a line. At first, he didn't seem fazed. He tried to laugh it off, chalking it up to some off-the-cuff humor that didn't land. But then, after wave upon wave of comments, criticisms, and insults, Gordon publicly apologized, saying he felt bad about how far things had gone. He admitted he was completely out of line and took full responsibility, saying he'd be eating humble pie for a long time. Grimshaw accepted the apology, saying she believed it was sincere and was ready to move on. And while the dust eventually settled, the incident definitely left a mark. It served as a big reminder that even someone as brash and outspoken as Gordon Ramsay can't always get away with saying whatever he wants, especially when the world is watching. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. If not, you love Trump.